So before we get started in this video, if you don't know who I am, my name is Najee, and I'm going to be showing y'all just a couple of my payouts throughout the years because I have been trading for 5 years right now, and I'm going to be showing y'all in this video how I basically make money even when I'm wrong. So right now we just have a couple of the payouts from 2022, couple of payouts. These right here don't count, the 1425 and the 60 and the 6840. Those were affiliate payments, but everything else were payments from Definitive Funding, a prop firm company. So that's not all that ended in 2023. Then we moved on to this one right here. These are the payments right here. And the reason why, keep in mind, based on your account size, that's how much money you can make. The bigger the account size, the more money you can make. And during those times, I had smaller accounts. Right now, I have 250,000 that I'm trading with. And then over here, this is the most recent payments right here for December 8th of 2024. Didn't trade in February, had to lose a month in January, and only one trade that was a break even this month. So these are all the payments so far before we get started in this video. Alright, today we're going to be talking about how I make money even when I'm wrong about the market. So what we have open is FX Replay. If you don't know what FX Replay is, it's a nice backtesting website where you can go back in time to actually practice the strategy better than TradingView, further than TradingView with any time frame. This isn't no affiliate promotion or anything. It's something I used to use. I use now and then here and there. This is the backtest that I was doing in this video. So I'm just showing you the end result after 68 trades. I'm definitely going to be continuing it for another part to show y'all what's the next step, what's the overall results after 100 trades, and what's the next step after that. So I'm basically showing y'all the process you need to do before applying for a challenge or opening up your live account and all of that. So the whole point of this video is showing you how I make money even when I'm wrong about the market. So if we look at the dashboard right here, see this thing to load. Alright, you can see that the total P&L gain is 24,520, 24%, 31% win rate. Let's just round it down to 30% win rate. So 70% of the times I was losing, right? 30, and then the 30% of the times was when I was winning, yet it came in overall profit. And this is what I mean by you can be wrong about the market and still make money. This ain't a guarantee, but you still got to do the work prior, and that is about finding a system, right? Find a system that you like. I'm not talking about my strategy. It doesn't have to be my strategy. It could be any system, right? Go ahead and backtest that system. Just execute the rules, no matter the wins, losses, and break-evens, and see what you get. So the problem a lot of people do is they focus on every individual trades without realizing trading is about a whole bunch of trades combined together that makes a profitable system. If you can see the total trades as of this video, right, the time of this video right now is 68. 23 of those trades were break-even. So if you actually watched me doing this on the process, you can see, oh, I waited. Okay, trade was invalid, didn't take the trade. I waited. Oh, trade was a loss. Waited. Oh, trade was a small partial. Waited. Okay, large runner. And that's how the equity curve is built. Now you could say that, oh, this isn't a lot of data based on the monthly results. There's a lot of months I didn't trade. But one thing you got to know about trading is there's a whole bunch of assets that you can trade, right? So when you find an asset that works with your system, that is good with the market condition with your system, now you can have, okay, January's filled in, February's filled in, March. You may skip a month, July, August, depending on the time frame of entry as well. So I like to look at the results based on the total amount of trades rather than, okay, what did this pair result give me for that year, because I'm not just trading one pair. I'm gonna be trading multiple assets, given that they have good context there. But yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm about to give y'all a simple framework based on trends, based on how I view trends, to make money even when you're wrong. So what do I mean by that? Every system, you need to take losses, wins, or break evens overall to make a profitable system. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give you all an example of a system that I'm currently testing to implement. Just a simple improvement based on my understanding of trends. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on, let's go on something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin. All right. Select the first day. We're going to go all the way back to, shit, we could do something random. Let's do something like 2004. I don't know what. Yeah. Or let's just say 2006 April. Something random. Oh, it wasn't even a weekend. Let's do 2009 February. Was it not? Bitcoin wasn't there yet. 2012 August. All right, this 2019. There we go. 2019 right there, and we're just gonna just put the end date right there. Strategy. We're just gonna leave all this blank so we can just get started. Just press save, and boom. So we press play, and it brings us to the trading view chart and everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my normal setup where I use. So indicators, I use the Mentaflex structure indicators. It just shows me the highs and lows. Very easily. Use it without it, but it's very easy for me to spot it. Let's see. We're gonna get the indicators on. All these are is just a tool with price action to make a decision. So we're gonna get 3 of these EMAs. One is 10. We can just make that black. That's what I do for my chart. Make this red. We're gonna put this as a 20 and 50 as blue. So what you want to do is, so for this system, I'm going to be using 5 minute as the entry, so we can get a lot of data very quickly. So the weekly, what we want to see is price and a bullish context. So what I use to decide a bullish context is double breaks and breaks of lows. And what do I mean by that? So just so y'all can understand with me as I'm going along with this, me trying to find the path tool. Where the path tool at? Tripping. All right. So as we have 2 breaks or more, right? If we get a break of a low, we can assume the target is the high. That's the simple understanding about this, right? But since we are assuming the target is the high, since we have the break of a low, we need proof with basically what I like to call demand validation happening on this time frame. You could call it whatever you want to call it. It can be called simple structure, many fractal structures, fractal breakthrough structure, demand validation. It's all the same thing. Where price is just making impulses, corrections as it starts to rise up above the 10 and 20. So let me go on. They max 4 hours. So usually you got to match it with the time frames, but they don't have it weekly. So let's play this forward. This is gonna take a while. There we go. So we want price to start rising up. Right now, there's just nothing to do. And we need like an obvious push like that. So this is a clear demand validation as it starts to push and rise up against above the 10 and 20. And what we're gonna do is, anybody else has this problem where they can never remember the tool they're looking for, but I identify our demand validation based on what's it called? We're gonna identify an actual zone that has imbalance, right? And then we're gonna jump down to the context time frame. So the main time frames I'm gonna be using. So the weekly is to establish the overall direction. The second time frame is our 5 hour, right? Before I jump onto the 5 minute, because this is top down analysis, so everything can make sense, so we can potentially catch an overall trend, potentially, depending on what our entry time frame is doing. So on the 5 hour, what we want to see is basically the same thing. So we want to clear demand validation, and we have invalidation points, and I'm going to be discussing about it right here. So so the most recent demand validation was right here. This red candle, we had to move up. There's a small little gap under it, right? But the problem with this right here, so basically what would invalidate this area is if we have a double supply that was formed. So price made this, basically it made this green candle right here before this red candle that closed. So that's first supply. If it can close again below this area, that would be called a double supply, showing that there's enough sellers in the market to push the price a bit lower, which will cancel this whole zone out, or if price breaks aggressively below this zone. So that's two areas right there. So what we can do is hop down on our 30-minute time frame, which is our validation time frame. Price looks very choppy, and look, what we want to see is demand validation get formed on here as well. Oh shoot, I tripped out. You had sometimes with FX replay, you gotta match it with the time frame, or it's gonna move the candles by whatever it is. So whatever I just missed, I missed. So let's go back on this 5 hours to see what's going on. All right, so we moved higher. So we ended up moving higher from right here, and then as you can see, the most recent validation area was right here, and then price ended up breaking that area. So there's no demand validation. So what we wait for is a strong demand validation as well. And also, if you there's a couple confluences that I'm not gonna go too in depth because we're just backtesting. If y'all want like more incomplete like strategy video, I will update it on my channel. So what we're waiting for is a strong push, like while it's rising against the MAs as well. So not right here, not right here, not right here. It's not clear. I want something clear. Clear push. Yeah, that's a clear enough push. And the most recent demand validation, there's also fractal versions of it. So there's something tiny right here for the most recent right there. And then that's when I will hop down on the 30 minutes to see what's the most recent demand validation. And the most recent demand validation is around right here. That's the last like candle that left imbalance and stuff like that. So what we want is we want price to come back into it. It has to pause right on the 10. So it has to match with it. So that the first confluence is it taps in. The second confluence is it pauses by the 10, which is the black line. So let's go switch this over. And we're watching if it's going to create a double supply on this way down. And then we created a new one right here. Basically, once it creates the a new one, the old one doesn't matter. So that's would be right here. You had a demand, nice clear push. And what I would wait for is once price comes down, it will be close to the 20 right here. So we're going to wait on a 5 minute for price to come close down. And on the 5 minute, as it's coming down on that 20 that's on that 30 minute, it should be right by the 50, right? Nicely right by the 50. So let's see. Alright, this one is too high for me because for my entry, I would like for price to come down this to the supply. It should also match the 50, and then I would just enter on the break of the candle, basically a buy stop of the candle. So if this was an entry, I would basically buy stop this candle right here. So let me see. It's not ready yet, so what I can do is let's play this forward a little bit more. All right, that's a little bit closer. As long as it's close to it, right? So what we can do is hop back onto the 30 minutes, make sure everything is valid. Price tapped in. Everything is still valid. So what we can do is set a quick buy stop right here. Make the stop loss just right here. So my rule of thumb is if I have a small stop loss, I can just look for my regular management rules. I'm going to show you that if I get a chance to manage it. But if I have much of a larger stop loss, I'm probably just going to aim for 1 to 2. Since price, even when you have a larger stop loss, you just want to take your profits quicker than having a smaller stop. So what you want to do is you click on this, press place order. We're risking 1%. We're not going to have a take profit. And we're setting a buy stop. So above that candle right there. So save. And let's see if we can get an entry. Once price makes a new candle, so it broke onto there, we can cancel that. We have to see, did it break on the higher time frame or is it rejecting? So it's looking like it's breaking right here. So what we can do is we can cancel this whole area because now it's no longer valid to me, and I need to wait for new validation. So basically, yeah, this can count right here where we have this supply. We have this demand being formed right there. Go back on the 5 minute time frame, and if price can come back to that 50 on Y, just under that candle right there. So we can look to manage for a potential trend if we can get this entry. So now remove your stop loss now. All right, remove the take profit right there, and basically let's see if we can get this entry. All right, so we get the entry. Let's see what it does. So it's moving higher. So what we can do is look for management rules, the same management rules I have. So I'm gonna wait for 3 candles of strength potentially to manage this. But I forgot, moving to break even. So for this you want to either, there's 2 ways you can move to break even, but it all depends on what the candles are doing. I could wait for the high, or if there's structure that has formed where it makes a pullback, then another high, then I can break even before that high. Or another thing is, if I notice that price is consolidating, right, I can either close the trade early or just set the stop loss at break even, because at that point it's not showing me no momentum in that area, right? So it's just based on experience. So let me see what I'm gonna do. So I got to the high. I set a break of the high. So there we go. So we break the high like that. So that's a good reason to move to break even. So if I go on the 30-minute time frame, we're waiting for 3 candles of strength. So we have the first candle, we have the second candle, and as long as it closes above a 1 to 2, that means on the third candle I can take a partial. So I'm not taking a partial yet because this is the second candle, even though it's above a 1 to 2. So wherever the third candle closes, as long as it's above a 1 to 2, I'm gonna close it. So let's see, and we get stopped out at break even. It is what it is. I was willing to look for a potential larger runner because of how small the stop loss is. My stop is a bit wide, so I can just aim for set 1 to 2 for this. So it's just based on what price is doing at the moment where I would decide whether I should aim for a set target or try to catch a runner, because it's more easier when you have a smaller stop. It's more easier to catch a runner than a bigger stop, you know. So let's see, make sure everything is aligning. So at that point I would just cancel that, and so it just taps in nicely. It's coming closer to the 20 right there, so we're still good. So we come close to the 50. So yeah, I actually like this area to set a buy stop of this candle right here. I could protect the candle. I could protect the 50. I'll do the candle right here. The candle is a small, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see where I am in the cycle, because like I said, after you get a flush, you're gonna notice there's gonna be 4 to 5 of these fractal breaks of structure before price reflushes under the M8s. So if I'm on the third one, or the fourth one, I instead of catching a potential runner, I'm probably just gonna aim for a set target because it's likely to fail soon. So let me see, after this flush, let me see where I am in the market. So we had a flush right here. We came under the M8s. We had the first one right here. We had a second one. We had a third one. We had a fourth one, and potentially we can make this fifth one. So what I'm gonna do, instead of trying to catch a potential large runner, even though I have a small stop loss, I'm gonna go for just the high right here. The high, even though it's just a 1 to 1.72, it makes sense. You could go for a set 1 to 2, but you know, the most likely target is going to be that high, and it probably can fail down soon after that. What I can do is place the order right here. Have that everything set up with a take profit, and save that in. Let's see if we even get tagged in. So once it makes a new low like that, right, we can adjust it. We can buy stop this candle, adjust it to the low right here, and now we have a better risk to reward. In this case right here, my break even, I can either break even based on structure or break even once price crosses this high right here, because it could potentially reverse at that high as well. So let me set a buy stop. And okay, it's still valid. Wait, did it take out that? It took out that low right there. So we can adjust it a bit more. Just like that. Keep everything the same. Yeah, we keep everything the same. Alright. Place order. Take profit. Save. Alright, so we get tagged in with that candle, so we're going to see what it does. Alright, so there's structure that was formed. We made a move up, we made a move down, we made a move up. So at this point, I'm going to just break even right here. Even though I said I was going to break even right here, like I said earlier, it depends on what price is doing at the moment, or you can make informed decisions. Because similarly, price could have just went and shot up and just broke the high like that. So we're just gonna wait. And we just get stopped out at break even. You could have. This still was a good trade. You could have said like maybe you just aim for a set 1 to 2 because, like I said, in this area it's most likely to fail down. So maybe it wasn't gonna get to the high. But it's just certain stuff that you could do. So see how even though I was wrong, I didn't necessarily lose money on this trade. We can buy stop this candle because it's close to the 50 now. Like that. And since we restarted the cycle, we can look for a potential runner with this. So let me click this, place, take off the TP, save, like that. And we're going to see if we can even get an entry. So we ended up just failing down, and we just canceled the whole order completely. We don't want to look at the zone because now we're completely under that 50. We're not aligning. So we have stuff that are disaligning. So I'm going to just give this a chance. I'm going to give this one area a chance because it didn't break too aggressively. So I'm going to set a buy stop area right here. Just like that. Like that. Where are we in the cycle as well? So we flushed. We traded the first. Traded the second. It could make another move higher. Could make another move higher. I'm gonna take this place. The larger ranges, for the larger ranges, I would just take like a set target because larger ranges can take a bit longer, which can end up like chopping you out before you get the move. So what I could do is aim for like just the highs right here in this case scenario. So it's just based on what price is telling you at that moment. So let me save. I set save to journal. No. All right. Let's see what it does if we can get an entry. So it's just another buy stop. It's most likely gonna tag me in though. Oh, it doesn't. So this at this point, this candle just showing me that it doesn't. So I'm gonna cancel it because if it wanted to uphold, when it does like a break like this, I want price to immediately just start shooting up, like going right back up. I don't want it to play around or nothing because we're already under those MAs. So we're gonna cancel that order. We can set this buy stop right here. Like I said, this is a long range. Yeah, this is a long range right here. So what I can do, man, this dog. I wonder if I can hear him. Alright, so let me see. Let me go back on this 30-minute real quick. I'm trying to see what kind of range we're in. We're not close to close to it. Okay. Yeah, I'll take this buy stop right here. But because we're in such a long range, I'm gonna be really conservative with my take profit and just aim for like a 1 to 2. Because the long range tend to like take a long time, like I stated before. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set this buy stop right here. Save. Let's see if we can get an entry. We come down a little bit more, so I'll give it one more chance to try to go higher from this area at this point because it's still holding up against the MAs. But if it fails now, then I'm gonna just completely cancel it. Like I said, I'm gonna aim for this just a 1 to 2 right here. Place order, buy stop, save, and we're gonna play this forward. Still, everything is still valid. So okay, so we get tagged in. So what I can do is there's a high right here. I could wait for like a clear of this high, like a break of this high, for me to break even, or just watch what it's doing at that area. Okay, so we did technically make some type of structure, so I can move this stop loss to break even. Because if it did want to continue, it would continue while rising with the MAs, unless it wants to just fail. And we get another break even. So far, all our trades that we had taken is break evens. We've been wrong about the market so far, but our management is still keeping us in the game. So the candle that I would buy stop would be this candle, because that's the if you look to the left to right, I look from structure to left to right. So this will be breaking structure from the left hand side. It was created by this low. This high right here is just inside structure from that low to high, but this is the actual structure I would need to verify the break. And since the stop loss would be so large, it would make more sense to aim for a set target of a 1 to 2 rather than looking to catch a overall trend, because you can get more of the out of the market with smaller price moves when you have a smaller stop. So what I can do for break even is wait for a nice break of this high, or I can close the trade early if price isn't moving right, which can give you advantages when it comes to trading. So let me put this in, place order. Scrolling down, come on, save. Let me just check back on where we are in the cycle as well, because all that plays a big part. So we had the flush, we had the first fractal. We're still got a chance to make a good huge trend. If this wants to be a huge trend, we're still in the potential cycle of it. So let me see. Let's change this to 5 minute. All right, so we get tagged in right there. So we just wait in. Wait in. It's just moving weird. I'm gonna give it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, if it wanted to go like higher, it wouldn't be playing around. So I'm gonna just cut the loss right here. It wouldn't be playing around right here. And I 100% save. Let's see what it has done. Yeah, it would have been a loss either way, because y'all saw how our entries so far has been moving. It moves, doesn't really play around, it goes, right? So we was wrong about that. We only took $500 of a loss. We cut the loss, we saved money, whatever. I can buy stop this second candle. This is like a decent one, decent. So it's like 2 highs. Stop loss right here. I can probably maybe break even based on like a clear move above this high, because at that point that would be like structure. So let's see, we can place the order. And since we are, let me see, am I gonna look to catch a potential runner with this? So we created first, second, third. Third, we're on the third one. Fourth, fifth. We could create a fourth and a fifth one before flushing. Is it really worth it to me to catch all that? First, second. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a potential runner with this. We had the first, we had the second. Potentially this is the third. I mean, nah, I'm gonna do a set target because we can create a fourth one and then fail, so it wouldn't be too worth it. So we just aim for a set 1 to 2. Or nah, in this case I could do like a 1 to 3. Because if we were to come that high, if we were to create like a fourth one then fail, that would be like enough to do it. So those are the questions I'm asking myself. So we're gonna place that order. It's a buy stop. And let's see if we can even get the trade to begin with. 5. Okay, so we get tagged in right here. It's looking weird. Looking weird. Your price is just looking weird. I don't like it. I'm gonna close it. It's looking weird. I'm gonna wait for it. Came down into it. Validation. Actually, I'm not gonna use it. It's not clear enough for me. Coming to that 50. There we go. This clear set target over 1 to 2. The stop loss is a bit big. Whatever, like that. Alright. Place order. Save. Let's see if we can even get the entry. We made a new candle. Low. In this case, we could still see. Let's see, where are we? Did we make any more? Alright, we're still in that same area. 1, 2, 3. It's been in this area for a minute, so it's most likely it's gonna it would probably reverse at that high. So let's see. Oh, actually, this was still valid for the. This was still my what's it called? Supposed to be my entry right here. This candle didn't take out this low, so this is still like the area where I would need to be aiming for. I almost missed that. Yeah, it's failing that the MA, so I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna take this as a trade only because it came close to the 50 and it was so close to the zone. So it would have validated me into the trade. So I'm gonna just market execute this right here. Stop loss. I could put it right at the 50 for this case right here. Let me just look at how I would manage this because this is a large range. And you know how I am about these large ranges. So could area probably just be a 1 to 2. Right there. And we can probably like break even either at the high like that or based on some type of structure or make decisions based on how price moves. It's currently moving. So we can place order. We're gonna market execute this. Market save. Alright, and let's see what it does. So we're pushing. That is structure right there. And it made some structure, may move up, down, up. Is it enough for me to break even? Yeah, I'm gonna just break even it. And ends up failing down. So far, every single trade we have taken, we have been completely wrong. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 break evens and 2 losses. Right? It still could set up. Let me look at the higher time frame. What is it doing? It came back to that 50, but it created a double supply at that area. So we're gonna have to. So I'm gonna end up buy stopping this, and I'm gonna put my stop loss just slightly under the 50, only because the reason why I did that last time is because I didn't quite tag the area. But it's close to the 50. I could do something like this. Same thing of a quick 1 to 2. Just break even based on structure, or in this case, since it's so close to the high, I can break even based on like a 1 to 1 or structure, depending on how the price is moving. So buy stop. Make sure we change that. And we're going to see if we can even get tagged in. So we don't get tagged in. We make a new low, so we can adjust that. It's still holding by that 50. So we can do that. Click 1 to 2. Place order. That I actually clicked it. Place order. Save. And let's see if we can get tagged in. Okay, it's still valid. Not valid no more. I would give it one more chance at this area to try to prove itself, because it's failing down. I'll give it one more chance. Let me see what the high time frame is doing. It's right at that 10. Yeah, I'll give it one more chance. Let's see. Stop loss right there for a buy stop. Quick 1 to 2 right there. Place order. Save. And we end up failing the MA, so we're going to cancel this whole area. We're not interested. It does, we just cancel it. This is something I would just go for probably just a 1 to 2 for this area. This place. Because of the stop loss so I was in. Save. Place order. Yeah, everything's set up. Ends up failing. Cancel it. It has to be this high right here. Wait, actually, this low hasn't been taken out, so it'll have to be a buy stop of this high right here. Just set this up for a 1 to 2 to stop. Too large. Place order. Save. Still moving nicely. Cancel it because it made a new low. It's even closer to the 50. Make sure everything still looks valid on the higher. So we haven't created no double supply. This candle created the lowest right at the 50, so we can buy, stop. This right here, still a 1 to 2 makes sense. Like that, whatever. Save. And let's see, still valid. Alright, so we get tagged in. And we take a loss. I should have closed it earlier. I was just moving through it because it didn't just tag in and start going. But we're going to keep it going right here. On right here. And stop loss right here. Where are we in the cycle? I want to ask myself that question. So we had a flush. We had the first. We had a flush first. So we could potentially look to catch a potential runner with this, especially with the small stops. So we can make some management decisions. So let's see. Go and place order. Take profit. Buy, stop, and save. Oh shoot, no take profit. Tripping. Ah, sorry y'all. Buy, stop, take profit, save. All right, let's see what it does. Fails down some more and adjust it. Still on that 50, so we still valid to take it. It's holding. And remove the profit, yeah. Save. Still valid because it's still upholding it. Still doing that high because this is that down candle from that down move. And we're entering based on the structure on the left. But this is still valid. So it's not too big of a stop, so we can still look for a runner. Buy, stop. I did it again. Buy. I'll take profit. Save. And let's see. It's not. Okay. So it's upholding it. It's taking a bit. Okay. So we're in. Yeah, we can just end up closing this. How big is the stop? Here. Make it a 1 to 2. That buy stop. Oh, what am I doing? Buy stop. Save that. Fails downwards. It's not holding up that 50 no more. And move higher from this area. If not, I can cancel it. This is a small stop, so I can, let me see where we are in the cycle. So we had a flush, we had the first, we had the second, so we can look for a runner. Place order profit there. All right, so we get tagged in, and we're gonna look for a potential runner. At this point, we can really break even this, because if it doesn't hold up the MAs, that means it's messing up the flow. It's not, the orders aren't supporting it upwards. There we go. It's moving higher. All right, since I'm at break even, I can use my management rules to potentially get our own runner. Sometimes FX Replay does that. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. The rules goes as follows. We're going on the validation time frame. Dirt candle got to close at least above a 1 to 2, and wherever they're at, if it closes at least above a 1 to 2 or at a 1 to 2 by the 30 candle or more, that's why I take a partial. So we're still not taking a partial because we're under that 1 to 2, even though we were tagged in, even though we made 3 candles. Still not at a 1 to 2. And right here is where we're taking a partial. 3.71. And just like that, we're still not in profit. This is unrealized, so we're gonna take this partial. Come right here. We're gonna put it close. We're gonna say 50%, just like that. And we're still down $798. But all trading is just math. And even though I didn't take much trades on this specific asset, there are so many other assets you could be trading when the market isn't looking clear, and you just have to find a market condition that matches. So simply what I would do is I'm gonna trail with the second low of this indicator. This indicator shows you the highs and lows. So basically, not the most recent low, but the second most recent low, and it just goes with the idea of this. Like, I know this video is long, but I'm giving y'all some value in here. So the idea is with this, where remember how I said if we have at least 2 breaks or more, if we can, sometimes price may break a low and then continue higher, right? So if you trail with the second most recent low, you'll be protected for a longer term trend if it does want to occur. So we're not moving it. This is the most recent low right here. So we're gonna wait. So it breaks again. So this low would be updated by right here. I can show y'all that. And then I can move my stop to right here. So this is around 9511.50. 9511.50. That's where the stop loss goes right there, and we're just gonna keep trailing it with the second low. Okay, it makes another one, so we're gonna trail it all the way up here. What is it doing? It made it. I'm trying to see if there's another opportunity for me to get involved. So where are we in the cycle? So we 1, 2. So we at 2. This is our third one. So if I was to enter something on here, I would just take like a quick like 1 to 2 or so, because we can by the fourth or fifth one, that's when we fail, and this is like the third potential one. If you get what I'm saying. So there's an area. There we go. Found the rectangle. This is the most recent area. This is a fractal area. It matches up with the 20 right here. And if we go on the 5-minute time frame, this area came to that 50. I mean, this wouldn't really be too worth it for me. No. I mean, because if I was to actually, let me just, I gotta see where the 1 to 2 lies. Let me see where the 1 to 2 would lie. It would lie right there. So I have to imagine another move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially. I will have to be quick with this type of management with what I'm doing if I enter this trade right there. So I'm gonna be quick with it. Or buy stop. Please order. Save. Let's see if we can get this trade. It's looking. This is where I would consider something that's looking a bit, I don't know, too weird. Because, I don't know. That's something I still gotta test fully. Yeah, we can cancel this whole order right here. Maybe I'll just keep an eye on what it would have did if I was in the trade. Yeah, it would have been moving weird. So we're still in the first position. Let's see, is it gonna move higher from this area? Let's see, what is it doing on the higher time frame? That area. As it's coming down to the 50. So yeah, this could be an entry right here, a buy stop. Coming down to the 50, we're in it. But I'm gonna have to be quick with the management. It's a quick 1 to 2 buy stop. Buy. Place order. Stop loss. Buy stop. Save. Okay, so we get tagged in right here. I will break even right there. That was structure. I get tagged out at break even. So this area I wouldn't like because it's taking too long. It's not moving because it wants to. If it's gonna move, it's just gonna move. That's my whole idea based on closing those weak trades. Okay. Let's see, are we going to get tagged out of our original position? Or are we going to keep on running higher? And just like that, we continue higher. So now we can move the low a little bit higher. This is the second most recent low got updated right here for our first position. It goes higher, so we can update it. So all the way up here. What is price doing on the higher time frame? At this point, I don't think I wouldn't look for any more trades because at this point, I feel like we're overextended. We had one, we had two, we had three, and we can make the fourth one and then fail. So, I mean, we could make the fourth one and fail. So I would, if I was to take a trade, because we're still in the fourth one, fourth base. One, so we flushed. 1, 2, 3, 4, fail. So, is there a zone in that area? No, there's no zone in that area. So what I'm gonna do right here is, yeah, I wouldn't take a trade there because there's not a area with a zone. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep this position running. Okay, we move higher. So even though it would have worked, I'm not interested in no other trades at this area because at this point I feel it's in my book it's overextended. So I'm gonna just trail until there. So we get taken out of the rest of the position right here. And with one trade, we're back into profit like that, 1.8%. And even though it took that long, just keep in mind that there are other assets you could be trading when you were taking a lot of break evens and stuff like that. I feel like I want to still go. So I don't want y'all to necessarily like take the system right now because this is just something I have noticed and tried. And so, because yesterday we was backtesting this, and I only stopped at one win because one it did put us in profit. So the whole point of the video was showing us how you could still be wrong and make money. But I wanted to show y'all that not even just after the win, because sometimes people be like, okay, that's a lucky win. So what I did was I kept on trading, and I'm gonna keep on trading and trading and trading this. But if we go to the right here, go to the analytics, the win rate was 29%, but overall it profited $16,414. And in terms of percentage, that's 16%. So we had 11 break-even trades. Let's see. The average RR was 5.67, which means on average our winners was making 5.67. So this is one of the powers of making sure that you're positioning yourself to potentially get a large runner with the trend. The winners, so we had out of all those trades, we had 7 wins, 17 losses. And let's go by the month performance. So if you notice, in 2019, there's only 2 months that we ended up trading. Only 2 months, right? In 2020, we only traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only traded 5 months in those. One thing you have to understand is there are a whole bunch of markets to trade. This data is only from one specific market, which is Bitcoin. So even though that the data is showing, okay, you only took there was only 2 months that you traded, so the first year profited 15%. That doesn't mean that you're going to profit 15% in a year on average. That means this specific asset that I traded profited 15%. Now, if you combine that with trading other assets, because there were times where the market wasn't looking clear, which is why there's a whole bunch of blank months. During those months, the context wasn't right. So I ignored that price action. But it doesn't mean that another market, the context won't be great. And during those times is when you trade another market that has great context, right? Same thing with 2020. Even though instead of 15% it profited less than 1%, you have to understand this profit was off of just one specific asset. So in January, if you look right here, losing month of less than a percent, February losing month for a percent, October 1%, then November plus 4%, December negative 1%. So I'm gonna keep trading this to see the overall results based on the total amount of trades. That's what I'm judging it based on, not by the yearly data or anything like that. And we're gonna remove the TP. Actually, before we move the TP, let's see where we are in the context of the market. That's the decision how we manage the trade is based on where we are in the market. Because if we're too overextended, it doesn't make sense to still look for a potential runner. So how many bases have we made? So from this move, we had to flush. Say this is the first base, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. So it doesn't make sense for a large runner. I implemented a rule where it's only look for the trend within the first 1 to 3, depending. You know, so since this is the fourth, it could fail at the fourth or the fifth one. So I'm gonna aim for a set 1 to 2 for this. Click 1 to 2. Let's just put it like that. Place order, and we're gonna save this. We're gonna see if we even get tagged in. Alright, so we get tagged in with that candle. And then we take that loss right there. We could consider this another entry right here. Because it's still in the zone. It made a new low and it just broke the candle. So I'm gonna just market execute this one right here. There's 2 losses in a row. So if we get a loss right here, we're gonna skip this overall area. So let me see. We're gonna aim for the quick 1 to 2. Put a stop right here. Right there. Let me just make sure the context is still great. Okay, the context time frame is still great. And I'm gonna place save. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm gonna market execute. So we broke that area. I'll probably want like a good strength. Okay, so that is a good reason to put our stop loss at break even. And just like that, we take a win on the trade. So, alright, so I get tagged in right here. So we're gonna basically see how we manage it. I don't know what to do yet. Price has to show me something. Okay, price failing the MAs like that makes me want to cut the trade. It was down even more. It's still holding right by that the 50. So I can give it one more chance since it is still in the zone. Just like that. Just check the higher time frame, make sure everything's aligning. Okay. Place order. Get rid of the take profit. Just like that. Let's see if we get tagged in. Still looks good. Okay, we get tagged in right here. Let's see what we do. Okay, we can break even with structure being formed. So we're going to look for a potential runner. So we have 1, 2 candles. And since our stop loss is smaller, it's going to be way easier to get a partial in. If we can. So that's the second candle. That's the third candle. So we're going to be taking a partial all the way up here at 2.52 because it's above that 1 to 2. And we're going to go right here. Take partials at 50%. And we're going to press save. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be trailing until we get trailed out with the same rules to potentially catch a runner. So 5 and a minute. And we continue this for, whoa, look at that right there. But that's still not ours. So we can only trail our stops to right here because that's where the second recent low is. So we're going to enter that in. That's around 25,696.7. 25,696.7. 25,696.7. Alright, there we go. And we're just going to keep doing it. These aren't counted as lows and stuff like that. So we're not moving it. Oh, this was an entry right here. Either way, I think that's too large of a stop. The reason why I already know it probably would have been an entry. Yeah, that's too large of a stop right there. Because remember, we're trying to take partials at a 1 to 2. We don't want it to be too far from price, or what I said. So we're gonna keep playing this forward. Could argue that I could have took this one, but I like to take the buy stop of the one that created the low. So we're breaking structure from left to right. Because this indicator is based on the left to right as well. Left to right structure. Let's keep playing this forward. We break the high. Okay, we broke the high right there, so we can move our stops to right here. And we can keep moving it. Gotta wait. Let me look at this area on the higher time frame to make a decision. Okay, so where are we in this trend? We created the first. This is probably like the second base. So we can still look for a potential trend with this one. We identified this is where our demand validation is lining up with that 20. And if we go on the 5-minute time frame, it's right at that 50. because yeah, this is a good entry right here. If we can buy stop this right here, stop loss just right there. You know, it's very small. 1 to 2 isn't far for it to even give us that partial if we were to get in this trade. So we're gonna place this order. One rule you can have for yourself as well is if you're already in a position, make sure your previous position is at break even before looking for another position. So the other position that we have running in profit is at break even. So you have no risk on the table until you add this one right here. So let me see if we can get this entry. So we get the entry. All right, it's a nice push so far. Okay, that's a sign to close that right there. Because it's fell in the MAs like that. And after it fails like that, I usually don't try to look for another one. Like unless it still is looks good on the MAs, but you can see how it's failing the MAs like that. Maybe if I want to test something in the future, but I want to keep it as consistent with what I'm doing as possible for the test. So we're gonna keep playing this for order. We're still in a position that's making us most of the money right now. We're waiting for the clear. Oh wow, the price is going. This position is really going and going. So right now, this position is already up 14 times what we was risking. But we're gonna lock in. So on our position right here, we're just trailing. This is why it's so powerful to know where you are in a trend. Okay, so our position is right there. Keeps going higher. Move it up even more. Okay, flush down. Even though it flushed down to the 50, and I could check the high time frame. Look how huge that candle is. I'm not willing to take a buy stop of that candle. It's too big because that's the down candle that created the low. So you have to wait for the breaker structure because these lows that are formed inside, those are just inside structure lows. Those don't really count. Yes, it can form it, but the higher probability ones are the outside structure lows. Okay. Okay, and it makes another structure upwards, and we can keep moving it higher. Keep moving it higher. And then we got trailed out of the position. So wow, that was a massive position right there. Let's actually look. How much did that profit? That one position. Let me see. I'll look at to the side. Wow, it was just a massive position. That was a massive position. The problem a lot of people do is they focus on every individual trades. 23 of those trades were break even. So if you actually watched me doing this on the process, you can see, oh, I waited. Okay, trade was invalid, didn't take the trade. I waited. Oh, trade was a loss. Waited. Oh, trade was a small partial. Waited. Okay, large runner, and that's how the equity curve is built.